In the words of every awful video game company in business right now, it's not gambling if there's a 0% chance to win, right? Larger and more experienced game companies just cannot resist any extra grab at money. They will do anything to take funds from consumers, even if it is pushing the boundaries. You would think with how many eyes are on microtransactions, loot boxes, and gambling in the video game industry currently, companies would listen to how outraged some people are and really try to find a middle ground between, yes, obviously having aspects in a game that bring in more revenue, but also pleases the people that purchase their games and these items that support the game's ecosystem. Rockstar feels like they can just push these boundaries because they have one of the best selling games of all time. They're also one of the highest profiting game companies of all time as well, and this has just gone straight to their heads. They have done it again with putting the Diamond Casino in Resort in GTA Online. And it doesn't sound awful, but hot damn, it's pretty bad. You can spend real money in the casino to purchase the in-game's currency, which you can then spend on things like cosmetic and nice shiny toys for your account. But you can also spend this currency on the casino chips, which are essentially a second in-game currency that can be used for various gambling-esque mini-games like horse racing and slot machines, and you have the potential to win even more cosmetics. So you just spend real money to get casino chips just to gamble them all away. Now, of course, a lot of people do not consider this gambling because you cannot cash the chips and currency back out into real money. But honestly, compared to EA's surprise mechanics and also cosmetic microtransactions in things like Call of Duty and Fortnite and many other games, this is probably one of the worst examples that we have seen with companies pushing the boundaries. They are even mocking the situations going on right now with countries banning loot boxes because they're considered gambling by putting these things in a damn casino. Now, this did come back to bite them in the ass a little bit. Gambling laws across the world have restricted the casino, making it inaccessible in more than 50 countries, which I personally agree with, because I do not think companies deserve more money for creating these type of things in games. But there are people that are very upset with this because even though it may be an awful monetization method, it is still a new piece of content in the game that is now inaccessible to a ton of players across the world. I am not saying that people should not be able to do this. Adults can do whatever they want with their money. I am not going to sit here and tell people what they can and cannot buy, especially in a video game, since people play video games to escape the real world and just enjoy their time. But I just do not think that people should be supporting companies that do not actually care about giving players a memorable experience, and instead they just try to empty their wallets. Some people find this enjoyable, when you have a random chance to get an item and you lose over and over, but then you win. That feels amazing. You have this rush of adrenaline, but you also feel frustrated as hell when you lose, so it puts you in this cycle of continuing to do it. Even if you are losing, you'll eventually win, and then it just continues over and over, and that is not really healthy for people. And I will be honest, finally getting an item that you want, or just winning in general, is one of the best parts about games. But this is not the way to do it. I know that companies need to bring in more revenue to a game. I am not so naive as to think that when you purchase a game there should be no more transactions or no more ways to spend money in the game. But a lot of players have said, why not just go traditional DLC releases? Make a full round of DLC and make players pay for it. This is how all games used to work, and I personally think that this is a much less predatory way of doing it. Have a season pass with 4 or 5 rounds of DLC with new areas and new items to get, but you also have the choice and the decision to buy cosmetic microtransactions because that is less predatory. Make sure that the cosmetic microtransactions do not have any game-breaking effects or stats attached to them, make it completely cosmetic, and that is okay. That was a much more acceptable way of doing it rather than what companies do now. With microtransactions and loot boxes being such hot topics in video games, what are your thoughts on them? Do you think that they should be removed from games, or do you enjoy them? Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. I know this was a very short video, but I did just want to point out more predatory monetization and Rockstar really pushing the boundaries with what is acceptable and what isn't. I will definitely be keeping my eye on this situation. I have been trying to talk more about microtransactions and what companies are doing in the industry, but if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, and of course if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate the support either way, but I do hope that you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys again in the next video really soon.